Abell sets up declaration with captain's knock. In what little play had been possible in Bristol, there'd been success for both sides. Lammonby had fallen early courtesy of a run-out, but Somerset had rebuilt, putting on 45 before the remainder of day 1 and all of day 2 was washed out. After their long wait, Somerset were able to resume, Abell and Byram finding their way to 50, and then soon enough taking their own partnership to 50 runs. The pair had started to think about 3 figures when Gloucestershire popped up with their first wicket of the day. Byram, the man to go, caught in the slips after a few attempts by Brathwaite. Hildreth joined his captain at the crease, and the pair set about taking the total to 100. An Abell boundary brought up triple digits and took him to within a blow to the ropes of his 50. The rain returned with the score 105 for 2, lunch taken, and both sides headed back to the dressing room, hoping the passing showers would be brief. They were back out there without delay, and an 8th 4 from the Somerset captain took him to his half-century. The knock, a patient one, scored off 117 balls. Hildreth had to depart soon after, a gap left between bat and pad, and Payne obliged. Stumps clattered. Bartlett wouldn't be far behind, just a few runs added to the total when he was removed by Worrell. The hosts were having a decent spell. Goldsworthy was caught behind, Worrell again with the wicket. And another. Davis gone for a duck, with Somerset starting to crumble. Overton looked solid alongside his captain. The visitors went into their shells a little, but they needed to rebuild. They ticked past 150. That would be a good first step. But he was finally removed by Higgins, down the wicket, but unable to get a clean contact, caught behind by Bracey. The session came to an end soon after. Time for tea with the score 180 for 7. Lewis Gregory looked in the mood at the resumption. Taylor was sent soaring for 2 sixes in 1 over as Somerset put their foot to the floor. They started to slow, the early momentum hauled back by some good Gloucestershire bowling. The score was past 200 and heading towards 250, but at a much slower rate now. Another Abell single took the score to the landmark, but both men were now approaching milestone figures of their own. The skipper was first, a boundary through the offside off Payne was enough. He reached 3 figures off 255 balls, an innings worthy of being described as a real captain's knock. Gregory followed in his footsteps. A similar shot to the same bowler took him to 50. His knock took 77 balls. With the personal feats behind them, attention turned to taking Somerset to 300 runs. But the pair would be unable to get there together. The score was 292 when Taylor snuck one between Gregory's bat and pad to flick the bail off the top of his stumps. Abell saw the score to 300 with 2 boundaries in the next over, and he promptly declared 300 enough for him, and Gloucestershire set the tough task of surviving what play was possible. The captain had led from the front for his side with his knock of 132. He and Gregory added 116 in their partnership. Worrell looked the most threatening for the visitors. He finished with 3 for 52. Somerset hoped that a couple of wickets late in the day could spark a collapse and open the door for a charge to the line. The plan was off to a great start in the first over, Dent out to Overton by way of a Goldsworthy catch. And then there was a second scalp, and the one they were looking for. England new boy Bracey caught behind. Brathwaite and Smith stuck around to the close. Gloucestershire in a little bit of a sticky patch, heading into the final day. The score at the close, 16 for 2.